welcome back to the channel for a very, very exciting LEGO build. Obviously, I've been talking about this project for a very long time, and today is officially the start of the LEGO Cities residential area. So basically what I mean by that is housing, like housing development kind of setup. And I'm really excited. There's no better one, in my opinion, to start with than the up house. So, of course, you see two boxes back there. Today, we're going to be doubling these. So, quite literally, doing both of those sets on one Mills plated 32 by 32. I've got a whole bin full of stuff over off to the side here. I've got to separate these pieces out, of course. This is now my most owned set. I now own 3 of these because I have one on display. For my Disney shelf as well, so it's going to be pretty exciting. There's not going to be like corner builds or anything like that, I don't think, right away. This is a rebrickable model from Rebricked. As always, I will have his description and the instructions to this linked in the description below if you want to help support him. Great guy, great creator. He does some of my absolute favorite mocks of anybody out there. He and Brick Artisan are typically the two that I feature the most on this channel, and a lot of the custom builds are from both of them or myself, and I'm really excited for this one. I don't know if the picket fence wraps around the entire outside, but we're going to be playing around with this a little bit. For now, I'm going to build a sidewalk in front and probably just leave a gap for a vehicle. I don't know what I want to do with the driveway yet. That is going to be a separate project. Today is primarily focusing just on the build, getting this started, and building like a little sidewalk. I would like to do like a fire hydrant and stuff, but we'll do a detailed stage on a later date, similar to what we did with like Hagrid's hut in the forest and stuff like that. Getting the ground level ready to go, and then building on from there. I have this one. I'm going to be doing Gru's house. Gru from Despicable Me is going to be his neighbor, so that's going to be pretty exciting. I think those are the first 2 that we're going to be doing, or I should say they are the first 2 that we're going to be doing, and I've been waiting on a Bricklink order for a while now, and finally it arrived, so that means we're going to be doing more investing into the city as well. Finally turning Seinfeld into the sitcomplex, so that's going to be super exciting, among other things. So really happy about that. We're coming off of the big town hall build, which you can just see the little bit of the outline there. So super exciting. The LEGO City is definitely going to be growing pretty fast. Now, this one from Rebrickable, or Rebricked, I should say, does not feature any other parts. So essentially, all you need are 2 of these and a base plate, and you're good to go. Everything, of course, I build the Mills plate out of is going to be custom, but that just takes, you know, these little 2x2s and some 4x8s in whatever various color. For the residential area, I want to do light gray here, go across, and then eventually have like the little driveway. I assume I'm just going to leave one of these blank. That's honestly something I didn't give a whole lot of thought about just yet, but I'm sure that won't come back to bite me in the end. But I'm going to light gray, just like a curb would, to match the LEGO City, and then we're going to be just grassing it out. So I'm going to be using a lot of green rather than light gray, which will add a little pop of color too, just like this entire build will. But this is going to be exciting. I know I've been hinting at this for a while, just the residential area being underneath the LEGO City is an absolute pain, so it's not going to be great for a little bit, but I am really happy to at least feature this awesome design, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. Now I have a lot of parts to store. Alright everybody, so here is the final build. Like I said, I did do the curb. However, the driveway is going to be really tough. Essentially, this is sitting 3 from the back of the base plate, but even if I had moved it all the way back and just differed from the instructions a little bit, I still won't have a lot of room for a car here, so I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with that. You know, it makes it a little bit more difficult. For now, I left it there as just kind of a placeholder so I could kind of see, but I did build the curb around it. I might do like the little yellow, like curb street on the sides. I debated doing that in the city around the corners too, but I'm honestly not too sure yet. But that's going to be a project for another time. Again, I do want to add a white picket fence around the outside, probably put in a tree, put the squirrel up there, and do some stuff to it. So we are going to revisit this set at some point. Just for now, this is going to be what we're putting in the residential area. I love it. I think it turned out fantastic. You know, of course, we have Doug staring at the squirrel here. It pays great homage to the original set and offers a lot of little details as well. But you can see it is fully encased. Of course, you know, you have the little balloon machine in the background. But I do want to add light kits to this, of course, just like the others. in the Lego City. Being that this is the first in the residential area, I'll obviously have to start a power source and everything like that too. But I think it turned out really great. Honestly, it is a lot of fun. This is a relatively reasonable build too if you're new to MOCs. About 1,200 pieces between the two of them, and you don't use them all, but I always recommend to get some part sorters and stuff like that if you're interested in doing pieces or like builds like this. It just makes it a little bit easier. I try to organize them all by color. If you're doing a really big project, then it gets a little bit more difficult, but this is definitely pretty manageable in the storage that I had ready to go. The extra minifigures from this are going to just go on my Disney shelf in front of the other one. Now that I have 3 sets of this, I actually do have enough for one for the city, which is this one, of course, one for the Lego Disney shelf, and then one for the minifigure display as well. So we get the whole crew covered. But I really do enjoy this build. If you want to remove it, you can also just pop it right off the little pegs down there, and you're good to go. It's connected just by a couple Technic pins, and voila. Comes apart pretty simply. Just watch you don't break everything like I typically do. The inside, you know, the stickers are relatively placed throughout the entire set. You know, you have the little Easter eggs here and there between the stickers and the adventure book up here. You know, you have the little bedroom, the living room. A lot of it does feel just like the original set, just of course expanded. So I do think that it turned out really, really nice. I enjoyed it. It was a nice build, and I think it's going to be a really nice addition to the Lego City and the very first residential area. Like I said before, with the driveway, that'll be a debatable thing for the future. But for now, I am just happy to have this started, and then we can go from there as I casually break this. The balloons were definitely a tedious part of this build. However, you know, it happens. I was a big fan of just having to do all the balloons in the first build for this set, but I, again, am really, really happy. The only thing I don't necessarily like too much is this random window here. It's just kind of sitting there, and I honestly think the house would be okay without it. So that's something I might change in the future, but just like with all of my other MOCs and custom builds and stuff like that, I do typically always change something down the road. So whether that be the picket fence, the tree, and just building some stuff up. I might even off-center this at some point, you know, maybe move it a little bit more to the left and maybe have like little driveway here. We'll see. I want to try and get all of the houses pretty much done. Well, not all of them, but at least the Despicable Me house and maybe like the Lilo and Stitch house, just to kind of get a basis for a little bit of how everything is going to look and size-wise, and, you know, get the community feel, and then I'll customize from there. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Again, this is going to be just the start of the residential area, so, you know, nothing too fancy yet. Next time, I think I will do the Despicable Me house. Either that or the Lilo and Stitch. You know, I've got them both. You can probably see them both back there. It's going to be a big debate. I think Gru will look perfect next to this one, but, you know, then there could be like a Disney wing too. So I'm not entirely too sure yet, but I think it's going to turn out pretty great. But that's going to do it for this build, guys. Again, if you want to help support the actual creator, I will have a link to his description and the profile instructions, everything like that in the description below. I will also link the original video if you guys want to take a look at the original Up House. That's the reason I didn't focus too much on like reviewing the minifigures and stuff for this set. We've already done that, and I obviously want to focus more on the amazing custom build. So I will say probably in the next couple videos or so, depending on how everything goes life-wise, we'll officially start the full residential area, like actually getting the layout. I have one pack of streets that I think I can actually do down the center, and we should be able to go from there. But that's going to do it, everybody. Thank you all so much. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video again, support the original creator of this set. Follow me on Instagram, and if you guys are interested in checking out LEGO lighting kits, head to my affiliate link in the description below for bricks, mats, and light tailing. Help you guys save some money on your LEGO lighting journey and help support the channel at the same time. And I'll see you next time. Happy building, everybody.